Hello and welcome back to the Finish Line podcast and our Dublin Racing Festival special. Myself, Tom, Sean are here. We're going to be there on Saturday and Sunday as well. Boys, are we looking forward to the weekend, Tom?
I am indeed. Yeah, really looking forward to it. It's a great weekend. It's normally decent racing, and most of all, to be honest, it's a good weekend away with the lads. There's a group that's now been going for the last few years, and really good group, and really the banter's well going in the WhatsApp group. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
It is. Oh yeah, Sean's gone.
Sean's gone.
Yeah,
Sean's gone.
I presume.
Yes, Andrew, you'll be happy about this. I got new internet today, and it is rapid.
Buzzing with life.
Yeah, no more bullshit of trying to download stuff or wait for pages to load. So yeah, delighted with that.
Wexford are coming up in the world, as they say.
That's it. Yeah.
Right. Sean's gone, but we will crack on anyway. We have 8 grade ones to get through, and then we are going to give our handicap selections at the end of the show. Tom, we're going to kick it off. First race of the DRF, the Nathaniel, Lacy and Partners Solicitors Novice Hurdle, grade 1 over 2 miles, 6 furlongs. Final demand 7-4. He's a strong favourite. Super Sunday second in the Lawlers, and Nace is 5-1. Sounds Victorious 7-1. Jasmine I Can't Jump the Vote is 8-1. Mozzie Sisters 12s, and Bigger the Rest. Very impressive on debut, Tom. Final demand. Super Sunday probably brings the best form into the race, but there seems to be a lot of good vibes coming about final demand.
Yeah, he seems to be super strong, doesn't he? I think Willie was pretty keen on him in his stable morning there. The second in his Limerick run came out and won a handicap hurdle in air off 118 over there. There's some substance to the form. It's not grade 1 form, but the third is right 120 as well. So there is some substance to it. He didn't just beat trees like we saw in some maiden hurdles this week. But Andrew didn't get that reference.
I missed that. But, I was looking at something. What did you say? Say it again.
I said he didn't beat trees like some horses did in maiden hurdles this week. But
who won a maiden hurdle this week?
Who could possibly have won a maiden hurdle this week?
Oh, Maureen the Machine.
Yes, Maureen the Machine. Yes. Now, just to preface this, we're only having a bit of crack because 2 of the lads in our WhatsApp group who are part of the DRF gang are members of the Close Sutton Racing Club. So they're banging the drum about Maureen and how good she is. And sure, look, there's 1 or 2 of us giving it back a little bit. How she beat a 97 rated horse 14 lengths, but she in fairness to her, she was impressive enough. I was a bit worried what she would do when she jumped the last, but when she got asked to go on again, she went on again. But she ran to an RPR 120, and yeah, we'll see. I couldn't back her. I think she drifted back out again. I think she was 7-4.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Or something after that. Mayor's Novice, yeah. But she'll have a chance. She'll have her chance. Best luck to the lads. I think Sean's back. You just missed all the Marine chat, Sean, how keen we are on her, how she's going to win the champion hurdle in 2026.
Yep. I think you've swapped internet with Sean, have you?
Yeah, I must have. Yeah, they do say Wexford is the new Dublin. You know.
No, they fucking don't.
Anyway, let's get back to this Nathaniel Lacy. Look, a really good race. Final demand is deserved favourite. I think that was impressive. But I'm a fan of Super Sunday. I liked him as soon as he ran the last day. I fancied him for this. I've backed him for the race anti-post each way. I think a step up and trip will suit him very well. Very, very lightly raced. That was off the back of 243 days off. If you can build on that, I think the step up and trip will definitely suit him. And I think he's going to at least run into a place. But yeah, look, final demand, he could be anything, couldn't he? And we'll have to see. Well, the other one I'd give a shout out to, Mozzie's sister. She was actually entered. She was actually entered in a handicap hurdle as well, which I fancied her for. I think she's a bit better than the 127 horse. I think she could possibly run into a place here. She gets a £7 mare's allowance. I think 1 or 2 would be too good for her, but she's a mare I like and keep an eye on her.
Yeah, well, Sean gets himself sorted and we give him a
Oh,
chance.
I've had a nightmare. I hope the DRF just doesn't go like this when your computer decides to update as the podcast just begins. It's great stuff.
At least you're here. That's all that matters,
Yeah.
Sean.
Yeah,
That's all that matters. Look, I agree with you, Tom. We're final demand. I thought he was very good on his debut at Limerick. Form is not working out bad at all. Timmy Tuesday is 15 lengths behind, was after going on to win, and so was the third Will DeWise. Stamp very good. What happened there? What did
I'm having to improvise on the spot here, Tom. I'm on the phone, so I'm waiting for the laptop to kick back in.
Oh, that was fantastic. Sean was just there.
This is the start of your weekend, Sean. It's turning upside down already.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
Anyway, I'm cracking. I missed that. Final demand. Yeah, look, I was really impressed what he done at Limerick on debut. It's a deep enough race. Like Super Sunday brings the best form into the race in the back of his second behind the Yellow Clay at the Lawlers and Ace. But again, Patrick Mullen's on him, and I said to the lads in the sent in chat, I would not back a hurdler that Patrick Mullen is riding or a chaser this weekend. I think he just hinders him. It's my own personal opinion. I think Danny should be on him. Look, Danny's on joystick of 40-50 to 1. I thought he'd get second choice, but apparently not. But yeah, look, I think Final Demand will get everybody off to a very good start at the DRF. Sean, what do you make of the Nathaniel Lacy?
Yeah, look, it's a tricky state of affairs, I'd say. You're starting off with a shorty, and I don't know if it's the best one of the weekend. Look, he deserves to be there. What he done at Limerick was very, very good. The second and third have come out and won at Limerick since. But I just feel like the hot pots, I feel like they might get one over early with him. He raced a little bit enthusiastically, the same as Super Sunday, and it's why I'd be against him as well. He didn't really drop the head, and I'd just be a little bit worried over this slog. You've seen time and time again, like the sexy profile horse, Predator's Gold, went in here last year and got turned over. It goes a bit more to the slogger, I think. And look, if there's one at the prices, I know he's the outsider of the Mullins camp, and he's probably ridden by the third or fourth string at this rate. I just thought it sounds victorious. If this is to get into a proper mud bat, he's in there about 8 to 1. I couldn't put you off backing him each way. I think his first run obviously was at the time when Willie's weren't firing. His second run, I think he didn't bump into a bad horse, Edward Cawley's the last day. I know he got the better of him, had to dig deep. But I just think he's the proper slugger in this field, and it's soft going, and I think we're due a bit more rain. And I'd say it's just going to be tough conditions now. You're going to want to know what sort of horse is under the bonnet, and I think he'll stay all day. So an outside on the force to be sounds victorious each way.
Yeah, we're due rain tonight, and then there's a band of it coming in after racing on Sunday, so might get away with it for Saturday. Might be too soft, but Sunday's looking like it'll be a proper test. Right, next we are moving on to the Juvenile Hurdle, Grade 1 over 2 miles. Hello Neighbour, Gavin Cromwell is 2 to 1 favourite. St. Lucie is 9 to 4. Lady Vega Adelan was second to Hello Neighbour. Last time it was 4 to 1, and it's 14 to 1 bigger arrest. Tom, it's kind of concerning the top three. Hello Neighbour holds Lady the Vega very marginally on her meeting over Christmas, but St. Lucie put in a very good performance on debut at Punchestown as well. What way you see this going?
Well, look, the one I was interested to see what price he was number 5, Willie the Hype or something like that.
Remember him?
Yeah. Someone said once upon a time about him that he'd be even money for a Triumph if it was ran that day. And he's a 33 to 1 poke outsider of the
somebody
field.
I believe somebody else said just get all your money back at Christmas time on him.
Yeah, I did indeed. Lost that as well.
Yeah. Didn't happen, Sean. Are you sticking with him here, Sean? I suppose that's what the listeners want to hear.
Yeah, I think you'd be brave, man, to stick with him. They did an awful lot wrong, but I'll let you go ahead, Tom. You've had your fun now.
He hasn't said no, Tom. He hasn't said no.
We ticked Maureen off. We've ticked Willie the Hype off.
Did you get the Maureen? I missed that part.
It was just an in-house joke with Adrian and Darren before I get absolutely slandered by everyone for slagging Maureen. But this is going to be a cracking race. This is probably one of the races of the weekend for me. I think it's very open. I think we're going to learn a lot. I suppose you kind of have to focus on the first three in the market. Hello Neighbour, he was touted as if he's one of the best horses around before he made his debut over hurdles in the Grade 2. Punted off the boards, went off favourite. You'd be a brave man to take him on. That's what I'd say. He's rated 97 on the flat. I think he did plenty wrong in that first run over hurdles in the Grade 2 at Christmas. They're sticking a hood on him this time. That might help him jump a bit better, settle a bit better, so he can jump a bit better. He was kind of just rushing into everything. He's a big scopy horse, so I couldn't take him on. That at the same time, if you looked at the race and just on bare form, Lady Vega Allen was miles back, and I think they even said themselves, like, you know, they had to get started somewhere. She'd already won a hurdle race, so they just had to see where they were with her. And she took off up the straight. She got pushed about 3 wide around the bend, and she finished very, very, very well to only be beaten short head. She gets a £7 mare's allowance. On bare form, you'd say she could turn it around, but I do think there's some improvement in Hello Neighbour as well. And then you get to St. Lucy, who, when Summer Willies weren't running great, I remember we were texting that day, Sean, saying, Jesus, Summer Willies aren't running great here. And then bang, she comes out and absolutely annihilates her field. What she beat that day is probably a bit questionable. I know the second came out and ran okay, I think Cork. But I just want to check, was that Cork? Yeah, it was Cork. But slightly questionable, but she absolutely annihilated them. She gets a mare's allowance as well, and Paul Downend has picked her. For me, as I said, this is, and people might take the piss out of me here, but for me, this is one of the most interesting races, at least races of the weekend, because I couldn't massively strongly fancy any one of the top 3, but I couldn't. And I don't mean I couldn't strongly fancy them. I like them all, is what I should be saying. So it's going to be a watching race, but it's a fascinating race.
Sean, what do you think?
Yeah, look, I thought after the Christmas she didn't really get credit. I don't think. I love this Lady Vega Allen now. I thought she came out Christmas and there wasn't much talk about her, and it was all about St. Lucy coming in here. And then Willie done a talk during the week, and he said if she was good, she got clipped in. Now she's back out to 9-2. She's won over the weekend now that way. I'm gonna be muggy each way punting. I think you'll get 5-1 as well if you hold out. Sean O'Keefe on board. I think the money's gonna come for Paul Townend on St. Lucy. Look, she was very good, St. Lucy, the first day. She won on Maiden. I'm not sure what she beat, and the second is going up to the Scottish Triumphal up at Musselburgh over the weekend. So that might sort of tell you the level that they think that horse might be at. So I'm not sure what she beat, but she couldn't have done it any more impressively. Then you come back to Lady Vega Allen. Look, that race at Christmas against Hello Neighbour, I thought she ran unbelievable. I thought to be ridden stone cold out the back, given an education ride, Sean O'Keefe was on board that day, and I thought it was a fact-finding mission. She gave about 6 or 7 lengths to the leaders, probably if not more, the whole way around. They popped around, and then they quickened up from the back of the tour last, and she had to come out and around the field while they were already quickening. Having to make up that ground is not easy. Obviously, we lost them into the fog that was down that day. But I seen Ruby mention on the road to Cheltenham that Sean O'Keefe came back in and said he missed the last, and if he didn't, he would have won that race. I thought that was big thing to be saying, because no one could see it, and I suppose the only thing you can get her back from is the jockeys. And another stride she was up, she was closing all the way to the line, and I'm just not sure about that Hello Neighbour. He races a bit wrong, and I think you can see it from the flat sort of coming out of him a little bit. And I think if Lady Vega Allen's to be up in the van and sort of counter-attacking, when he's jumping bad, if she's jumping right onto the girth of him, I think it's going to put him under a whole lot of pressure, and she's not going to give him 5 or 6 lengths. I hope she's not going to give him 5 or 6 lengths that she gave him the last day. And as I said, Willie's weren't going great at the time. She's going to come on for her first run a hell of a lot, and I think she could turn that form of Hello Neighbour very easily. I just think the mark is a bit wild. Like, having Hello Neighbour at 7-4 and her out at 9-2, way too much of a difference for me. And I think she's one of the muggy each way bets I'm going to be having over this weekend.
Yeah, I'm kind of siding with St. Lucy, going back and watching everything. Look at Hello Neighbour, very keen in his race. Didn't jump great, and look, he held on well at the line from fast finish Lady Vega Allen. go back and watch St. Lucy's race. She's a big mare. She travels really well on the pace. Jones well, bar one mistake, I think it was at the third last. But bar that, she's a big strapping mare. She's plenty of scope. She's by Great Pretender, who's Sawyer, Lacy Mouse, Benny the Jew, top class mares like that. And she looks like she could be one of the next big good mares that Willie is producing. Look, there wasn't much talk about her coming into Leopardstown or Punchestown, and I kind of like that. She does her all her talking on the track. I hate these horses that do it all in the yard and don't show it on the track. But she's done it on the track already now. Not she doesn't do much at home, does it on the track. Jesus Christ, Andrew, spit out the words. But going forward, I think she's going to be the best horse in the race. She, as Tom says, she gets the mare's allowance. Hello, neighbour. Look, you have to respect him. He's going to come on massively from that. Gets the hood this time. Gavin Cromwell's horses are flying still, but Willie's is just in ridiculous form lately. Choice of Paul Townend. I think she'll go off favourite, and I think she'll be very hard to beat. I respect Leggy Vega Allen, but we didn't really see much of the race, how it panned out, what pace they went, and all crap like that. But I think St. Lucia's most solid one, very impressive on debut, jumps really well, travels strongly and picks up. I think she's uncomplicated, and I think she'll take a lot of beating. Right, where are we to next? We are off to the 2:55, and that is the Goff's Irish Arkle Novice Chase. 2 mile, 1 furlong, grade 1. Big Madge is 4-6 favourite. Illa Antique 10-3. Firefox 10s. Touch Me Not 11s. The biggest horse in training is at 33-1. Here Comes Georgie is in at 50. Sean, go back to you. What do you make of this? Is it just a matter of fact that Big Madge wins, or will there be an upset?
Yeah, look, I think it's very, very hard to get away from him. He's obviously come in off the back of the Shrine victory and came out and made his beginner chase debut. Anything I would say is he went left that day, and at Leopardstown sometimes they can race out on that far rail, and it just be my only worry if he does start running down fences. The wide fences at Leopardstown, he has a lot of ground to run down, that'd be my only worry with him that I took out the first day. Look, he could put it all straight and start jumping straight this time around. It's only his second time over fences. I think he has the perfect setup. He has Illa Antique and Touch Me Not, who only have one way of going. The both of them will have to go out in front. They're going to say solid fractions for him here, and I think Mark Walsh was sitting behind. Just from the back of the last is what blew me away the last day. They sort of got close to him, and I say he doesn't do an awful lot out in front. And when Mark gave him a squeeze and a kick in the belly, he went away. He's shown us what he's done last season with them juvenile form lining up. I just think he'll take a lot of beating in this place.
Tom?
Yeah, look, he had to go and make his own run in the last day, and I don't really think it suited him. He was looking around a lot, as Sean said, he jumped to his left on occasions. He jumped very well on the main, especially when they quickened. When they quickened, he had a right cut at them, and he sprinted away from Tully Hill and Asian Master after the last. The two of them were second and third behind Mr. Gift then in a novice chase. Or a beginner's chase, the next day. And I think that backs the format. I don't think Mr. Giff is bad at all. And Big Madge went and destroyed them by 6 lengths. So I'm really, really keen on him. I really like Illa Antique as well. He's running races that are going to be a lot different to this stuff. They've been at Navan and Nace, and they've been on softer ground. I think I don't think this is going to be on anywhere near as softer ground as that. It's hard to. I don't want to just pin it on soft ground. He's a soft ground horse, but he definitely handles soft ground. I think he's grown and developed by the look of it, and he's certainly a really nice horse. But I just feel this is 2 mile 1 around Leopardstown. I just think Marshborough has. I just think he has the touch of class, maybe to go and beat Illa Antique. Illa Antique, as I say, he's done very, very well in winning his first couple of races, but he started off over 2 mile 4. He did come back to 2 miles without any problem, but just around here on a bit quicker ground, I just think Madge is going to have the gears for him. He gets a £2 weight allowance as well, which look, every little helps, as Tesco say. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Madge. I think I went through this race a couple of weeks ago, and I decided in my head that Illa Antique wasn't going to run, and a whole other host of Willies weren't going to run. So I got stuck into Madge at only slightly bigger prices than he is now. And Dave pointed out about 10 seconds later that Atlantique was probably going to run here. And he was right. And I think he keeps the price competitive. I think if you're looking for one for doubles, trebles, I'd stick Marchburn in there.
Yeah, look, he is the most likeliest winner, but I don't know if I can go at him at that price on the back of one Chase starts. Look, he's a very, very good horse. I think he's going to be very, very good as he gets older. Willie's won this race, the last 4 years in a row, but only one of them has been favoured. Like, Fasave got turned over last year. Ilete Tomp won it. El Fabiola won it at 9-2. Blue Lord won it at 5-1, and Nergamy was the one that actually won it. It's a race that over the last few years, well, bar the last 3 years, has really favoured back in the favours. But I just think there's something that tells me something weird is going to happen. I think that weird thing is going to be Touch Me Not. He's going to be on the pace with Atlantique. But he's a horse who's still very raw, very green, and I think there's so much more to come from him. And look, he got beat by Facile Mode on debut, but it was one of these, like, we'll just get experience into, and he still should have won. Backed that up then with a very impressive win back at Punchestown again. Still looking green as grass. I think it was third last. He was wandering around all over the place, and one going away. Onto the City Isles then, and everyone knows the mistake he made. Absolutely ploughed through one of the railway fences down the back. But yet he was still only just over 3 lengths off the Dan Skelton horse. Oh, name's gone off my head. Load of Sod. You can mark that performance up massively. That was on heavy ground as well, back on this kind of ground. If he gets into a rhythm around Leopardstown, we know that Leopardstown 2 Mile Chase track favours horses on the front end. And if they can get into a rhythm and not overdo it, they can pinch lengths at their fences. And bar that mistake, he's been very, very good at jumping fences. If he can get away in the front end, I think he's 10-11-1. I'll have a bet on him now. I'd probably put Madge in with Galloping or whatever. But I think if anything is going to happen, I think he could get away in the front end. I think the whole ground thing could be the thing with Atlantique. Will he be as effective off kind of good soft ground? We know how quick Leopardstown dries out. I think he could be a fly in the ointment now. I think he could nick a few lengths at the start, and if he gets into a rhythm, he might be hard to peg back here. I'll take a chance on him at 10-11-1.
I'll cry if he beats Madge.
I laugh.
There's no wine for you in the Clayton if he beats Madge. I'll tell you that much.
That's all right. I'll buy it, Tom, because you have to win 11-1. What could I buy 2? Right, on to the Gold Cup. Galtmachamp 4-7, Factor Foil 4-1, Monty Star 11s 12-1. I know 2 of you are Factor Foil super fans. Will you turn the form around, Sean?
Look, there's 2 views I have on this, right?
Galpin wins and Galpin wins.
Yeah, Galtmachamp was 4-7. I just put in my piece before on Factor Foil. They basically made it set in stone the last day that they were going to get Factor Foil to do things right at the Dublin Racing Festival. If that means they line him up last and settle him, I genuinely won't be able to get enough money on Galloping the Champ. I will be absolutely smashing the thing out on the machine, because Galloping the Champ is about a 1. Honest to God, if you give him a lead out the front and Factor Foil's in last, Galloping the Champ's a 1-4 shot, in my opinion. You can take it. No price will be too short on him. And I just think they will try and get Factor Foil to do things right, because if they are going to have a shot at the Gold Cup, I'd love him to go out in front and take on Galloping the Champ. But if they're going to go down the Gold Cup route, they're going to teach him how to do it properly. And I say he could be dropped last. And if he gives any lengths to Galloping the Champ the way they did the last day, the way they said they were going to do it the last day, there's no chance he's turning that around. Look, I think Factor Foil is very good. You don't get that close racing the way he did. I was out in Leopardstown that day. He went by the stands and he got absolutely drilled up. Mark Walsh's hands were about 10 inches off his neck and he couldn't hold them. I'd be interested to see if he put earplugs in him or a hood, anything like going down the start, just to see if they settle him down. But as I said, if they rest Factor Foil out the back to try and teach him how to race properly, you won't be able to get enough money on Galloping the Champ, in my opinion.
Will you back him for the Ryanair and running as well?
No, because I think if they are going to take the approach of settling them and getting them to race properly, I doubt they're going to do that with a Ryanair in mind. I'd say they're going to stick to the Gold Cup plan. if they're going to go down the Ryanair route, I see them taking him on out in front, and if he doesn't get home, well, then you go down the Ryanair route.
Tom, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what Sean has said, to be honest. We said it on the review show for Christmas, didn't we? Like, grand, Galloping might just be a better horse. He probably is. But if you give him a free lead around Leopardstown, you ain't got a hope in hell's chance of it. So, now I know he was keen. I can understand why Mark wanted to bring him back. But to me, that horse's cruising speed is what beats horses. I know he won the RSA racing differently, but he was just a better horse than those horses. The days he absolutely annihilated people down in Leopardstown was he was let go and wing the fences down the back, and the race was over turning in. I don't think it's going to happen. I'd give you $1 million to one it happens, but I would love to see them line him up and say, right, come on, bounce him out, come and get me, kick on down the back somewhere and say, do you know what? I'm just going to see what happens here. I don't think in 1 million years that is going to happen, but it's what I'd love to see happen. The other flip side of this is he travelled into that, and you thought there was just a second at the turn in at the third last or the second last. You were like, "Oh, could have a race in our hands here," and then he got tired and galloped and pulled away. Was that just because he was too keen? If he does settle, is he going to come up there on the bridle and have more of a finishing speed? I don't know.
But it's even when he jumped to the last, it looked like he was going to pick up and go up sides galloping. But the second the camera angle changed, he was gone.
Yeah. I wonder, can you put most of that down to him being too keen throughout the race? You probably can, but then again, still, is he going to go and be some performance if Galloping gets a free lead like he did the last day, and then this lad comes up there swinging.
The one thing I would say, though, I was out there at Christmas. He came into that pre-parade ring and he was absolutely dancing around the place. He was revved to the gills. So it'd be interesting to see if he's a bit more settled this time around going in. As I said, I'd say they might put earplugs in. I'd be shocked if they don't, or if they put on a red hood going down the start or something, because he was drilled going into that ring that day.
Yeah, I look, the one betting wise, I suppose I'm just going to look what best price is here, but he's 4-1 in one place. In fairness, he's 7-2. Like, he's probably worth putting in some muggy each way bet, isn't he? An each way double or an each way treble, because I just think whatever way they ride him, I think he's betting the rest of them. But yeah, I'd love to see him win, but I can't say it with any conviction. I think if you give Galloping a free lead around Leopardstown, I don't really think it matters what you do. You're not going to win.
Yeah. Look, there's no secret how much I like Galloping. He's practically unbeatable around Leopardstown. He's never been beaten over fences at Leopardstown, left-handed as well. Bar his fall in the Turners at Cheltenham, he's never been beaten going this way around. I think it'll take a hell of a performance from Fact Foil. Look, as you said, they need to change tactics, or put earplugs, put a hood on, do something with him to kind of set. Look, he's not overly keen, but he's too keen to try get the Galloping Champ, if that makes sense. It's not like he's pulling the arms off Mark Walsh the whole way around, but he's just doing a bit too much. But I'd love to see him drop it and get upsize Galloping after jumping the last and see what he has left of the tank. And
it's just what Galloping done after that. Galloping gave the last about 2 foot, and he went out and went halfway down around the track again. Like, it's just frightening. You can't do anything wrong racing against him, like, and you just can't have a chink in your armour.
No, I don't think, like, it's hard to see where Galloping the Champ's ceiling is. What is he? What is he now? 9-year-old. He doesn't seem like he's plateauing at all. Like, you can arguably say Fact of Five is probably the best horse he's beaten so far in his career over a fence, and he made him look not bang average, but he beat him quite convincingly over his trip over 3 miles to 3 mile 2.5 in the Gold Cup. He looked near on unbeatable. He's uncomplicated. He's uncomplicated. He's economic when he jumps. He's fast away from his fences, and he just keeps picking up.
Yeah, it's scary. I'd say the first day he doesn't go halfway down the back in Leopardstown might be the telltale sign that he might be coming to the end.
I think we're all in agreement, though. We are looking forward to seeing what they do with Fact the Foil.
Yeah.
Right, now we're going to move on to Sunday, and by the weather forecast, it looks like we're in for a deluge on Saturday evening / night, so the ground will probably be a lot softer on the day. And this will have a lot of bearing on how this race is run. The Ladbrokes Novice Chase, 2 miles, 5.5 furlongs. Ballyburn is 8-13. Imperi Pass is 3-1. Champ Kiley 11-2. Better Days Ahead is 8. Croke Park, 2-time Grade 1 winner, is a 16-1 shot. Tom, we go back to you. You're a big fan of Imperi Pass. You have been for many years. It looks like the rain is coming just in time.
Yeah, and look, I'm not a massive believer that he's got to have heavy ground drive. I think he acts on it. I mean, Dave kind of had this debate the other day. Like, Fairyhouse was quick enough. Limerick wasn't even that soft. If you look at how close they finished together in Limerick, like, that was not a heavy ground Limerick. Like, it was yielding to soft. And he won at the Punchestown Festival, beating High Definition 7 lengths. That was a good performance. I think the ground will be fine for him. I think he'll handle anything. In terms of, am I surprised to see him here? I was slightly. I didn't think they'd take on Ballyburn, but I'm delighted that they are, and they kind of get a free swing at this because, by all accounts, they're not going to Cheltenham, so they can leave it all on the track here, if you want to put it that way. And they've got a bit more time to get him ready for Aintree in April. I thought he was very impressive at Limerick. I thought he was very impressive at Fairyhouse. People knock him because it feels like it's a fun thing to do, or maybe it's more because they stayed hurdling and he was a couple of lengths off the top draw ones in Grade 1s on only his like 5th, 6th, 7th start over hurdles. So I wouldn't knock him that. He won a Grade 1 over hurdles in open company, and he won 2 of them in novice company as well. So I think he's got an outstanding chance. I thought it was very, very clever again a couple of weeks ago. And I looked at this race and I thought this is going to cut up like hell here. And I backed Champ Kiley 13-2, texted into the lads, said, get on. Half of these aren't going to run. We're going to smash it up. I think he was 11-4, 3-1 yesterday. And then the news broke that Imperi Pass was going to run.
I wonder you were so negative towards me on Imperi Pass running here.
Sean texted me. He was like, "I was smashed in Imperi Pass." I was like, "Sean, he's not going to run." And then Sean sent me a screenshot of a quote from Anthony Bromley, and I was like, "Okay, right, let's get on."
Where's 5-1, and how can I get it now?
Yeah. So I now have each way bets on Imperi Pass and Champ Kiley. So I'm well in the taking on Ballyburn camp anyway. Yeah, Champ Kiley was impressive. Whether he can back that up is another thing. But I think he's betting a few of these. Croke Park, he can hardly still keep winning, can he? It's
if he wins, I'll give up.
If he wins, I'm going to throw myself off the top of Leopardstown.
Game over.
God, it would be a random one. I think Gordon's taking this weekend off, basically. Have you? I'd say Gordon's going to spend more time in the bar at Leopardstown than I am.
He's hardly at and running like.
Yeah, I'd say Gordon's gonna be on the jolly. I'd say we could see him in the Clayton there on Saturday night.
Having a sing song with Gordo.
Yeah, exactly. But look, Croke Park's been very, very good, but surely to God, some of these are a bit better than him. Ballyburn, look, I know, Sean, you love Ballyburn, and in fairness, you love Imperi Pass as well, by the sounds of it. He got put in this place by Sergino. That was around a tight. Well, a speedy track on quick ground over 2 miles, and getting beat by Sergino is no thing to be ashamed of. But I'm just willing to go and take him on again. He's odds on, and for me, if I can back those other two, especially in Imperi Pass when he was a bigger price, even now he's probably the one the each way bet to put in with Factor 5 at that price. And yeah, look, I'll take him on. Ballyburn could go and win. I think the step up and trip will help him. But if you just look at the horses, just go back and look at the horses that Ballyburn has actually beaten. I think there's more substance to Imperi Pass's form.
Yeah, look, I'll just touch on that as well. I that's the point I was going to make. I totally agree with you, Tom, in regards to Imperi Pass's form. I think it's much better than what Ballyburn has run to. Even go back to his his Ballymore win. You have the likes of Gaelic Warrior was in behind. You have Chamcoily Goodland. Compared to what Ballyburn beating his, it's a much better renewal. And look, he's behind T Hoopu, then State Man twice. I know, look, Ballyburn hasn't got a chance to run in them kind of races. But I think there's a lot of things in his favour today. I think the price is still quite generous at 3-1. I can see him, a lot of money come for him. He could go off a lot shorter than that 2-1 mark. Look, Ballyburn, look, he's a very good horse. But I'm not convinced with his jumping still. I know look, I'll ride off his Kempton run because that was on ground that probably didn't suit him going against Giorgino. Track probably didn't suit as well. I just wasn't convinced with his Chase debut that he's kind of in love with jumping, really. The engine is there, and if he's there come to the last, look, it'll be a hell of a race. But I think in Perry Pass, he's very uncomplicated. He settles behind the bridle. If you go back and watch his Chase debut, he looked like he had no interest in it whatsoever. But the second Paul woke him up, bang, the response was rapid and he was gone. He uses no energy up, where Ballyburn has a tendency to over-race. And against horses like this, with the calibre of Imperial Pass and Chamcoily, that could come to his detriment. But, yeah, so I think, look, Imperial Pass, I've backed him last night at 5s. I probably have a little small on him again at 3-172 before the night is out. And I think he'll take a bit of beating in this, to be honest. Sean, you siding with your good old pal Ballyburn?
I'm not in here. I just think at the odds. Look, he's coming back up to a trip, but I always thought, well, his pedigree said he always wanted a trip, and I thought what he done the Ballymore said he wanted it. He would absolutely be fine over a trip. Yeah, coming back in here off the back of the Kempton run, and I'm just worried what that's to do to him. Sometimes these horses can take a bashing and not come back, and what he done at the last just didn't fill me with enthusiasm. I just hope he hasn't remembered the tough day that he has. He went down and knuckled the last, and I don't know how on earth he got over it, to be quite honest with you. He bounced off the top of it and just went through. But so Gino gave him a bashing that day, and I'm just wondering, look, I've no doubt Paul's going to pick him. He's going to be number one ride, and he's going to be there at short price, but I don't know what it's taken out of him. As you touched on, I absolutely smashed him Perry Pass last night when there was 5-1 each way, and he'd still be my second one of the weekend with Lady Vega Allen. I still think at 3-1 he's an each way bet. I absolutely don't see him out of places, nor at hope in hell do I see him out of places. And Perry Pass comes in here, as I said, he came in this season the highest rated over hurdles. I know he got his season out in open company, but he came in higher rated than Ballyburn. He's done absolutely nothing wrong. People crabbed his first day, which I couldn't get over. I thought he just dropped the bridle and popped around, and when he quickened up, he answered immediately. He then went to Limerick, and obviously Darrell Jacob had this lined up from a mile out, and he must have been told this is a starting job. He's dropped him in last down the rail, and they haven't gone a great gallop around Limerick, and it wasn't deep ground as it usually is. And they've quickened down the hill, and this lad's had to quicken from the back of the field through them, and he cut them in two. And I was just deeply impressed with him. I think you've no issue on the ground. The soft are good. I don't think he's too ground dependent. He jump all day. I think his jumping is definitely better than Ballybourne's. And you come in here, and I couldn't touch Chamcoily. He hangs like a gay going left-handed, and I just couldn't have him. All you have to do is watch him around Cheltenham the last time in the Ballymore. Danny Mullins has two reins, two hands over the right side of him, trying to keep him straight. I'd be worried, as I said, sometimes he can race out on the far rail around Leopardstown, and if he's going left, it's no-go territory. I definitely couldn't touch Chamcoily. And the other thing is pace. Like, you're going to have Chamcoily, you're going to have Crow Park who want to go forward. I'm not sure what he does with Ballyburn. Is he going to kick him out of gate over 2.5 miles, or does he take a lead? I'm not too sure. So that's another thing where I think in Perry Pass you can drop him anywhere. He doesn't want to be in front. He's going to get a pace to aim at, and he'll quicken up, and I will be gobsmacked if he's out of 3. I think in Perry Pass is right up there with Ballyburn.
So Sean has abandoned Willie the Yak, and now he's abandoned Ballyburn.
I just think prices 4-7 is...
Who saw that coming to start the season? You imagine when we did the first show of the year, and somebody said by the time we get to the end of January, Willie Diak is going to be never ever to be mentioned again, and Ballyburn's going to be deserted.
Yeah, he's not deserted, Tom. I don't give up on him. I just think the prices are completely wrong.
Dave O'Keefe is pulling out a little bit of hair he has left right now.
Yeah, I think I genuinely still think 3-1 is a big price. I thought these would be about 8-11, 7-4. But I think the market will change rapidly come Sunday.
I think I don't know if you've seen our comments, Andrew. Our comment section's on fire tonight. There's lads like it just shows how horses split opinion. Like someone's saying Ballyburn's going to bolt up. Other people are saying Ballyburn needs to go back to the Stayers hurdle. Yeah, it's interesting. Chris just said Ballyburn will get stuff like a turket, which is an interesting comment. Yeah, Willie the Rubbish. There was another one. Ballyburn needs to jump better. Yeah, he does. He does need to jump better, I think. He may have the opportunity to do that though over 2 mile 5 rather than 2 miles on a quicker track. So I wouldn't say he's not going to do that just yet. But I think this is going to tell us a lot about Ballyburn and what direction his career goes in. Kind of thing.
Is he another hype job or is he the real thing? Right, we are on to the Tattersalls Ireland Novice Hurdle Grade 1 over 2 miles. Cope the boards, according to the Racing Post, is 11 to 10. If you can get 11 to 10, fill your boots, go ring up the helpline on the credit union, get a credit loan out because Kate Doty is not running. Breaking news, probably not breaking news. But
have we seen this anywhere, or is this Twitter
Well,
speculation?
we've had a bit of value.
Horse doesn't walk in the market like that, anyways.
And we've backed him less than a half an hour ago, 45 minutes at even money, and now he's 8 to 11 in majority of bookmakers right now. And Kate Doty has gone from 5 to 2, 9 to 4, out to 4 to 1, 5 to 1.
Interesting.
I'd say something's happening. If not, we might just have done our money. But anywho, that's the fun of it. If Kate Doty doesn't turn up, Sean, even though Cope the boards jumped like a tool on debut, massive engine was still there, he really only has Blue the Vassy to beat.
Yeah, look, I'd say K-Dye's definitely gone because there's no way the market has gone from 7 to 4 to 4 to 1. I wouldn't be surprised if you heard something along the lines of Stone Brews or something along them lines. But coming in here now, I think Kopek the boards. Look, I was listening last night. Deck was on a podcast. He called him Kopek to kick every fucking board out of a hurdle at Leopardstown the last day, which I was on my knees about because it was just brilliant. But it's something that, look, he's a price now at 8 to 11. Could I tell anyone to back him? Absolutely not, because how much he did wrong the last day was just. I don't know if he is going to learn. This is the thing, because there's two things, right? He's gone down and he hasn't jumped any. He's also ran left. He's ran down the mall and went into the corner. So they said something about attack, but he's just done so much wrong that 8 to 11 skimpy. Now, to be honest with you, I know the opposition ain't great. But just his jumping has to improve. There's zero doubts about that. It has to get better. But I did say he had no experience in France. He had no point-to-point experience. So it was his first time on the track. So you are willing to forgive that if he can come on. But he has to jump better. Coming in here now, and he's coming up. Look, it's not the greatest race. The fact that Kate Dye's gone now. You have Redemption Day. I don't know if he's going to turn up, and you have Blue the Vassy, who was turned over by Romeo Coolio. You haven't got great opposition to take him on with. It's one I'm going to sit and watch because I've missed the price on him, and I couldn't be steaming him at them short odds with just how he jumped the first day. But his form couldn't be working out any better. Cowabunga went out and beat William Money and Cocktail Diving the weekend. So the form is there, everything is there. The only thing is question mark around his jumping.
Tom?
Yeah, Andrew, like we've got on. Should preface this by saying we got on at even money. So yeah, I think even money is a good bet if Kate Duffy isn't running. He must have some engine, this horse. He must have an unbelievable engine because Kopek the Kick is a very, very good name for him because bloody hell, he did kick everything out of the way. I just felt the way he did that, even though he had made those mistakes, very impressive. Sean said that the second came out and beat William Money. The form looks franked. I'm quite keen. I don't think Blue de Vassy might be quite there as a top class one. I think he might just run into one. He ran into Romeo Coolio last time. I'd say he could run into Kopek the board this time. One I'm backing if he runs is Carnique. Andrew, me and you were very, very keen on him after he won in Tremor and going into Christmas. Just forget about Christmas, lads. If you've any questions about what happened at Christmas, go and watch the
Patrick
second.
Mullins.
He's going to have that pack on him again.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but he made an awful mistake. He did well to stay on the horse. He was down on his nose. Then he lost his back end. He basically fell. So the race is over. You can't do that in a race. So the race was over from then. Just forget about that. And if he runs, I'm going to back him each way as well.
I more or less echo what Tom said. Look, we're probably after time with the even money we're happy. 8 to 11, we'll sit there and watch it. Now, look, when you consider who's in the race, if Kate Doherty doesn't run, you blew the Vast, you would beat my Rome Coolio last time. As Tom said, probably not up to that level. Redemption Day can't jump. Then you've Good and Clever coming over from England, Kay Forn, and then Carnegie, who I will be parting with my money if he turns up. But look, he has a massive engine. Look, he doesn't jump great whatsoever by any stretch of imagination. But you'd be willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that he learned from that experience. Then with Paul back on him, not back on him, Paul on him for the first time, you would expect a more improved run from him. And if you're sitting on better than 8 to 11, you're kind of happy right now. And look, he probably should win realistically, but 8 to 11, do you want to go in at that? It'll probably depend on how your Saturday and up to that race has gone so far. But yeah, look, he should take the world of beating going in here. Right, we are moving on to Ladbrokes Dublin Chase, 2 mile, 1 furlongs. Good old garlic bread, 4 to 6, who got beat off 129 in Boodles 3 years ago, is at 4 to 6 and currently second favourite for the Champion Chase. Sorry, Tom. Marine Moose is 4 to 1. El Fabiolo is 8th, probably won't run. Sol is 8th. Calixias 14th. Champion Chase are Captain Guinness is 25s and 33 to 1 bigger the rest. Tom, could you imagine the day he got beat off 129 in the Boodles, that we'd be second favourite for the Champion Chase and 4 to 6 for a grade 1, 2 mile 1 open chase?
No, probably prayed we'd never ever see him again, to be honest, after he fucked that race away.
Good time.
It was just painful. Yeah, it was just a horrible watch that I have to relive every time I see this horse's name pop up. But there we go. Look, good handicap horses get beat. It happens. We'll talk about one of those later. He's not as good around Leopardstown, lads. I don't care what anybody tells me. Even Sean, we punted him off the boards for that handicap.
Do you remember that, Tom? We had some crack that year.
that was a good year. Though it was even 9 to 2.
Gaelic Warrior 5 to 1. He goes off 8 to 11.
Yeah. That was a good year. That was off 143, and
he won that day, did he?
Yeah,
he won. Yeah, he beat Nibiru. What's that?
He won off 143.
Yeah, won easily off 143. Wasn't even at his best and won off 143. Yeah,
damn,
and if you want to do maths, that's what that's exactly a stone higher. Yeah. But he only beat Nibiru like 3 lengths. Like, he was just miles better than those horses, but he still only went and won by 3 lengths. His other visits to Leopardstown, whatever happened last year, God only knows. And then I know he got a tender enough ride or seasonal reappearance the last day of Christmas, but like, he's still gone and got beat, and he's got beat by Solness. And he's finished up sides Marine Nationale. So I am keen today he came on at that price. Marine Nationale, I just can't get convinced by him.
Thank God. I thought after your Barry Connell Finanza last week, you were going to...
Yeah, I would have genuinely turned off your stream was gone. You were not happening.
What, after my Baza Loving Fest? That was a one-off. That was a 1 week only thing. There was myself, Ginger Joe, ABW and Baza in the Clayton with bottles of champagne. It's not happening. I don't care if this horse goes and wins. I promised it last week. I'm not promising it again this week. It's done. I'm done with the Barry Connell horses.
Ridiculous fucking...
Andrew, can you imagine it? You can. That's the thing. You can see it happen. You can see it in your
Tom, I wouldn't fucking put it past you.
But if that horse wins and they walk into the Clayton, I'm going to be straight over.
Nah, don't fucking come back to us.
But anyway, yeah, that's what normally happens. Anyway, look, I got the vibe that this horse is going to run El Fabiola. And
Is he?
Yeah, I got the
He
vibe
is.
he's going to run. JJ Slevin was on the Nick Luck Daily podcast today, and he was just actually going riding them out. And Anthony Bromley, the owner's racing manager, gave a positive update the other day as well. So, super record fresh, super record fresh. Obviously, God knows what happened at Cheltenham last year. I know he made those mistakes, but he made those mistakes for a reason. Like something wasn't 100% right. In fairness to him, he managed to bounce back, and he went to John Bond's home ground, and John Bond like that must be like going to Millwall away or something for a horse. Going to
So
take
on a
John
Thursday.
Bond. Yeah, like it's nearly impossible to go and get a win there, isn't it? And he's still, look, he got beat, but he ran a very credible race to show that Cheltenham was just a blip. I don't understand why he's this price. I really did get the vibe that he was going to run.
It was the setback, but Tom, wasn't it? He's had setbacks early in the season, and
setbacks, but I think they were trying to get into Christmas by the sound of it, and then they didn't get him to Christmas, so they're focusing here, and I think they were and ahhing about Christmas, so it wasn't like there was no way he was going to get to Christmas. And then, I think
the question was the doubt of getting the DRF then as well, wasn't it? I think that was the second doubt about getting here.
I don't know. I think it's always been a bit of a question mark because he's been off for so long. But
like if he runs here, he's not going off 8-1 if he runs here.
No. I got the vibe he was running anyway. It could be absolute nonsense, lad. You could look at Dex tomorrow and he's neither sight nor sound of him. But I'm going to throw a couple of quid on after this at 8-1 and take my chance and buy my ticket and take my chance, because I tell you something, if he runs against Solness and the two of them the same price, there's only one outcome.
Correct. Sean?
Yeah, look, I don't have much to add. I don't really have a selection because I can't take Gaelic Warrior at that price going around Leopardstown, where he was given tenderly handling the last day. There's no doubt about it. He still managed to beat Marine National, so I'm not sure how that's going to turn. But he can act up. I think the ring's a big thing. If anyone's going to take these short prizes, you have to see him in the ring. He's lost the head twice and ran 2 stinking races. So it's definitely a place to watch him pre-race. I do see a point now, Fabiolo. I was just worried about the if, buts and maybes, and maybe is it just a pipe opener before Cheltenham, and I couldn't be parting money with Solness. Like, if Solness wins this again, I'd be deeply disappointed standing in the stands. So not much for me. If you sit and brief and watch.
Yeah, look, we know that Gaelic Warrior is not as good at Leopardstown. He was practically half dead last year behind Fact the File. But what probably is coming in his favour, and I said already, is the amount of rain that's coming the night before. If it becomes really heavy, it's going to suit him down to the ground. I can only see his price getting shorter. But look, he's the price that I wouldn't touch here. I'd back him at Cheltenham. Every day of the week, I'll back him at Cheltenham. But around Leopardstown, he's been shown that he's not at his best, really. And that leaves El Fabiolo. If El Fabiolo runs here, he's the one that'll have my money on. If he doesn't, Jesus Christ, who am I looking at backing? Probably nobody. I'll probably sit back, watch and enjoy, because there's not a hope in fucking hell that I'm back at Marine Moose.
Yeah, no, I know. Do you know what? I'm half hoping Gaelic Warrior gets beat, because I missed the train on the 5-1 that was about for the Champion Chase. If he drifts back out after this, I'm going straight in while I'm standing in that stand, because I just think it's a thing of turning up at Cheltenham on soft ground for him. I'm half hoping he does get beat, remind of Cheltenham.
Welcome aboard, Sean. You're more than welcome. Right, the last one we are touching on is the Irish Champion Hurdle. Unfortunately, brighter days ahead is not turning up. So we have Lacy Moose in at 4-7. We have Stateman at 7-4. Winter Fox 16s. Daddy Longleg 33s. Phil Dudari 66s. And Cienza 100-1. Sean, Lacy Mount 4-7. 2 lengths behind. Just over 2 lengths behind Conman the last day. Stateman probably soul is still at Leopardstown. He probably collected on the way to the start. What way do you see this actually being run?
Me now says 20 past 10 Friday morning is going to tell you absolutely everything you need to know about this race. I think Paul's pick is absolutely going to be vital. Like, I know that's a given, but like, if he jumps off state, man, look, he absolutely loves him. You can, every time you hear about him talking about him, he just loves him. I know look, people are saying he has 2 stink runs this season. He definitely doesn't. The first one is now stinking run. And he's got third after jumping the last, and brighter days ahead were a run under our belt. He's got the better by half a length. Now the last day was absolutely woeful. He didn't raise a gallop and was beaten after the first. So he's 1 bad run and not 2 bad runs. I don't know. I just have a feeling Paul's going to get on him because of that. I think he's going to give him a chance because it's back around Leopardstown. He's going to find it very hard to get off him, I think. And look, if he does get off him and gets on Lacy Mount, it tells you absolutely everything you need to know. But the alternative to this is Patrick Mullins get to sit on the other. And that's...
Oh, Jesus Christ almighty, she killed the poor bitch.
Yeah, it's sacrilegious that's going to happen. Like, he's going to sit on either Stateman or he's going to sit on Lacy Mount. And
I don't think so, lads. I categorically disagree.
Jesus Christ. Tom, he got the ride on Duvan. He got the ride on Duvan before in the champion chase.
Yeah, like, he's absolutely getting the ride, in my opinion. Like, put it this way: if Paul rides Stateman, he's getting on Lacy Mount because he has that link with Richie. Richie's put him on charge. He's put him on other horses. Unless the Donnelly's coming around and
Danny's won on Lacy Mount.
Yeah, but that's when she was riding a 10 stone 3 or something around 30 house that he can't do on a juvenile hurdle. You know, like, I just think, like, and he's like, Patrick does get second dibs when it comes to this, and he chooses his rides because he's not only riding a number, but it's gonna be nuts that he's gonna sit on one of these and just back the one that Paul's on, please.
He won't ride Stateman. If they run both and Paul rides Lacy, then Danny will be on Stateman. He won't get a ride Stateman. For whatever he has the Richie connection, whatever. He might get a ride on Lacy. There's not a chance to get a ride on Stateman.
Like, we say that, and like, none of us thought he'd be on Gaelic Warrior at Christmas time, and he was on.
Tom, I think it's set in stone. No, like, what makes you think no?
What, the run Stateman or Lacy?
He's getting second dibs.
Snap.
From when is Patrick Mullins second jockey in Willie's Yard?
And look at all the
Grant, he gets the Richie rides, but he doesn't get the other ones.
He's on Super Sunday. He's on Super Sunday, and Danny's on
that the last day. He rode that the last day, so he's still on that. That's the reason he's on.
You're trying to talk yourself into
Willie has got however many runners in that first race, right? So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 5 runners, so Patrick's going to ride something. So Patrick rode Super Sunday last day. They kept him on it. Same with Sean O'Keefe and the Lady Vega Allen. He's still on that because he rode that last day. This is different ball game altogether. There's no. He might get a ride on Lacy. I'll give you that one. I don't think you get a ride on Stateman. I think Danny will be on Stateman.
I hope he doesn't get on Annie.
Yeah, but
that's I think that's very, very harsh. I'm not talking about Patrick's ability here at all. He's a good jockey. Like, I don't care what anybody tells.
He's a good jockey. No. He's not a great jockey. He'd be very low down on. If he wasn't Willie Munn's son, he wouldn't be riding these horses. There's no two ways about it. There's nothing like that.
I don't know. He's champion many times over. Like, but
it's that as well. But I think
is would he get a ride in the pecking order in Willie's, and he might get a ride in Lassabelle, but I don't think he get a ride instead.
But that's how, like, even back to the argument for this race, like, I just think that Paul's pick is such a telltale sign, because they've come out with no excuses for Stateman. They haven't highlighted anything, and it's just down to a bad run. Like, I think if the vibes are at home, like if the work has gone downhill and Paul picks Lacy, you'd be a brave man to take that 7-4 about State, man. Like, I absolutely love him. I think he was the cash money machine for about 2 years straight, and I was all over him, but I wouldn't even be able to touch him if Paul got off him.
What's your instinct saying, Sean? Is he going to ride Stateman or Lacy?
Right, how I look at it is, Stateman can't beat Constitution Hill and was absolutely thumped by him. Where I feel like they got off Lacy the last day and felt like they could get closer. Where I don't think they had that opinion with Stateman, and I think that's a telltale sign.
What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, 100% what Sean said. 100% what Sean said. I think Lacy, Stateman's 8 now. He's off the back of, he's been beaten by Brighter Days Ahead when she was going the wrong way around at Punchestown. Grandy may have needed run, whatever, but that's not the right way around with her. He's then got absolutely tanked at Leopardstown. Obviously, that's not his true running. Some of Willie's didn't run well over Christmas for whatever reason. Nothing has been put forward, as Sean says as well, that has come to light. But I think the obvious one, she's got within a couple of lengths of Conman when she's apparently just not been trained to be fast enough or travel well enough.
You have to currently on 5 4-long sprints this week, I heard.
Yeah, exactly.
Over to
jumping out the stalls with some of the sprinters up in the quarry. Yeah. Look, all joking aside, she's the up and comer. She's got very close to Constitution Hill already this season when not at her best. I think Paul has to ride her. He's ridden her in all of her. I mean, she's an obvious one that she's been odds-on favourite in pretty much all the races, but he's ridden her all the time. I don't think he'll get off her. I think he'll get off Stable.
Yeah, I think you like it, Lacy as well, and I think Lacy will. Look, I won't add much more to it. Right, we're going to finish up with our handicap picks. What you seeing, Tom?
I'm laughing at Key Buckley's comment that says, after all this defamation in the chat, Paddy Mullins have the DRF of his life now. I'm going to be cheering on Super Sunday in the first, lads. I'm going to be giving it to you all. If that goes and wins, I tell you.
Oh, God. If that happens, I'll just go back to the clean. I know. I'm just going to stop betting. I know what's going to happen for the rest of the day. I'm just going to stop betting. Right, finished on handicap picks. Sean, you can go first.
Look, well, just jump to one. I'd say the two big bets I've had this weekend was Imperial Pass each way, and the same with Amen Kate that runs in the Mare's Bumper on Sunday. Last race of the festival. I think this horse is very smart. She's trained by Tom Cooper. Probably not the sexy profile that she was put in at such big odds. Now, I know she's being clipped a bit, but I've mentioned 3 horses so far that I'd put in an each-way treble. It would be Lady Vega, Allen, and Imperial Pass, and Amen Kate would be the last one. I thought she done very, very well. She's a daughter of Augusta Kay. She went to Listowel the first day out, and she beat Carrickmore and Spruce by 7.5 lengths. She dropped in behind that day. She found a fair way back down the rail at Listowel, and they came around the bend. She'd had to navigate her way through. Paddy Mullins gave her a bump in the saddle, and by God, he got some answer. She came through the wings and pulled 7.5 lengths clear, as I said. Carrickmore and Spruce went on to win after, and then she went to the winner's bumper at Leopardstown on the 29th of December, where she beat the Geldens and has given the form a massive boost. And I think people might have forgot about her because she's been off the track for so long. But I'm happy to take on the favourite future prospect. She's 11-8. I know she's being bought by Kilmore. Big talk about her. The first day, I just worry about whether she's all there in the head at the moment. I think a bit of maturity she might lack, and I don't know if the buzz at DRF might get to her big time. She had to go off the front her own way. She was looking around. She was tanking with Paddy Mullins going around the bend. She just didn't race right, and I think the form of that bumper definitely hasn't worked out strong. She might have been good, but the bumper form hasn't worked out, and I'd have Amen Kate's bumper form far, far, far ahead of her. So I'd just be worried. A big hype horse, obviously being bought by Kilmore. I just don't think she's all there in the head at the moment, and I think maturity might catch her out, a bit of experience. So Amen Kate's going to be the other one.
The handicap all over those like a fucking rash. A big high horse trained by Willie Mullins. She hasn't been bought by. She was owned by Brosnan and Coolmore when she ran the last day. She's in there. Colours.
Oh, but, I thought they bought.
This is normally right up your street, Sean.
Yeah, but Tom, you look at the form. The form has been worked out, and K-Man Kate's form has absolutely worked out, boosted big time. I just thought the price differentiation was nuts. It still is, in my opinion. At 7-2 and 11-8, I think that's wild.
I think she's
Yeah,
a freak, to be honest. I happen to be.
really.
We'll just do this bumper. We might as well because then we move on to handicaps. But I think she's a freak. I happen to be watching the day that she won her bumper, and Patrick had to trot her into a fence to pull her up. When he came back, she literally went to go straight on into the. It's basically a wall. When you come back. The way she ran around, the way she looked around, and then the way she quickened just hands and heels. You say the bumper form hasn't worked out. The other two have been placed. Like it's not a horrific form at all.
No, it's
These
not horrific, but
ladies,
I'm talking about Carrickmore and Spruce, who's taking on the best Geldings and beat them.
yeah. Look, her form is good. I just think this is an absolute freak. These lady, the fourth in that bumper, was the eye catcher of the year, sure, behind the legend Maureen. She finished second to her this week. So I don't think the form is that bad by all accounts. But, I'm not probably not going to be having a bet in it. And the bumper on Saturday, I'll be back in the hotel watching the rugby. But yeah, we'll see. I think Future Prospects is an aeroplane.
Yeah, I think the two of them are very good horses. Future Prospect, I was the same as you, Tom. I watched it live, and to do what she did after doing so much wrong and just pull away hands, like he just said, was ridiculously good. Then again, Amy and Kate couldn't have been any more impressive as a Bannon Road or wherever she ran the last day. They stole and it was somewhat weird. And Karen Morna King backing up the form, two good ones. My missus' name Kate. If I don't back it, I'll be shot. So I'm going with Kate. Sometimes it's as easy as that. Right,
Sorry, the handicaps. I dived off there. Yeah, look, his kick off the Saturday one, the 3 mile handicap. You couldn't be putting her up, but like I don't know how you have a bet in this race in terms of meeting to the water is £36 lower than his chase mark of 112. Rachel Blackmore's up. I don't know how you bet against it. If you're not backing it, I suggest just watching it. But the other race on the day, the 2 mile handicap, midnight it is for the Gavin Cromwell yard. Look, I thought he was a serious eye catcher on the damn moor. He was beaten by King at PRS. And Sean Flanagan, if you watch him, I think they thought there was a bigger day ahead, and there was a lot of money on King of PRS that day. He gave him one slap behind the saddle going down to the last, and he gave him hands and heels for the rest. He's got Connor Stone Walsh up on board. He takes off a handy couple of pounds. I think King, his day will be here now. And I know Tom's probably put us on the train for the 2.5 mile race. He's going to put it up, so I'll let Tom take the second one. I've had 2 bets.
All right, take it away, Tom.
Is that the Gavin Cromwell horse? Yeah, we might as well start with this. And look, this is going to be massive after the time. I know it's going to piss some people off, but I don't really use Twitter and stuff, but maybe I should have put this up. I saw this earlier in the week. It was 20s in a place, 10s everywhere else. The horse is back to normal on Sunday. I think it's an absolute good thing, lads. I think we got this right last year with Heartwood. And I really, really am keen on this. This race, it kind of suits that kind of a younger, unexposed horse who hasn't had many runs over fences. Heartwood was only having his 4th run over fences. The Goffer won it on his 5th run over fences. Birchdale had only had his 6th run over fences. And Glamorgan Duke only had his 5th run over fences. So I think an unexposed young type. This lad is off 130. He's got absolutely no weight on his back in here. Ran a really eye-catching race at Navan on his first start over fences. Was right up behind down memory lane, King of Kingsfield, New Burbank, Birdie or Bust, and No Flies on him was just behind him. I think that's a solid piece of form. He's then gone and had 2 nice runs around, what we call them. One at Navan and one at Leopardstown.
That's some political way of putting that.
Educational.
Yeah. He goes back up in trip to 2 mile 5 now, which I think was suiting. This lad, on his first start for Gavin after moving from Mags Mullins, absolutely bolted up at the Punchestown Festival. 2 mile free. he was well punted that day as well. He beat Answer the Cave, who came out and won very easily over fences the other day and landed a right old touch as well. He ran to an RPI of 134 there. That was over 2 mile, 3.5. I think step up and trip suits, he's off 130. Gavins are flying. I know he's only 6-1 backing. He's a good thing, I think. He's my bet of the weekend, so we'll see how he goes. I'll rattle on through the others a little bit quicker now, Andrew, because he is my bet of the weekend. But meeting of the waters in the handicap on Saturday, massively interesting. We were chatting about, does this form always translate? No, it doesn't. However, the difference here is this lad started running straight over fences for Willie Mullins.
Willie Mullins is the difference, Tom.
Yeah, exactly. No, he improved stones for. I wouldn't say it was just going over fences. Look, even if it is
cash.
Well, the application of cash at Cork, I tell you, that was an interesting.
And Leopardstown, remember the gamble on him in that Christmas handicap?
Jesus
and the Christmas handicap. Yeah. But he's gone and finished third at Cheltenham off a mark of 147. He's finished 7th in the Grand National and he beaten 16 lengths off 147. He's rated 148. What's that? 36 pounds. 36 pounds is a lot of weight. The only question mark you could have is that run at Leopardstown. But look, no offense to Peter Smithers. They were on about jockeys' rankings in Willie's yard. I don't think he's too high up there at the minute. And he's got beaten 27 lengths again. A nice run around, finished midfield. This lad, he was beaten in a handicap hurdle at Navan. He was 6th for 26, beaten 5.5 lengths off 112. That's the same mark, and now we've seen what he's done and gone and improved. He doesn't even if he's 20 pounds below his chase mark, he's still over stunning. Do you know what I mean? I'm delighted to see Rachel on him, and he's got no weight on his back. I'll be honest. I said to you, Andrew, today, it feels so strange backing a horse at 9-4 in a 26 runner handicap. I honestly think this lad could be an even money shot if people decide.
I actually raised the point, Tom. I was raising the point about Gaelic Warrior going off 8 to 11. If Willie gets 2 to go in early, I'd be worried about the multiples going on this lad.
Like he's off 112. And the point is that he's run well off this mark as well for a previous yard as well, and consistently he ran well off that mark. So, I think it's going to take a lot to get him beat, lads. The other one I've backed in there each way is a tip for gold. Declan Queally is absolutely flying. He's in really good form. This lad has run some nice races for Max Mullins. 3 miles is the only question mark for me, but they put a hood on him. He's off 125. I'm pretty keen on him, so I backed him each way. Then the 12:40 on Sunday, the Mayor's Handicap. Queen's Gamble has a very obvious chance, but the price has kind of gone there. I'd much rather be back in Meeting of the Waters at 9-4 than her at 130. The horse there for me is Savante. Colin Murphy, again, another trainer. His stable are in good form. Won a maiden hurdle at Tremor, was running a nice race here at Christmas where he got bought down at the second last. They dropped him £1. They dropped her £1 for that, I should say. It's off 119. Again, she was another one. It was bigger prices earlier in the week, but yes, Savante is a bet for me there. And then hopefully we've all cleaned up, and I haven't much interest at this stage. But late on Sunday, James's Gate in the handicap hurdle. He could have won by a lot further, I think, if he jumped the last day. I think he was well touted as a bumper horse, third in the champion bumper behind Facile Vega. Is rated 136.
Back to the form, back to the good form, Tom.
Tom, why did you give him some rope, like?
Look, we're talking about handicap form now. As I said, Sean, we're on about handicaps now. So he's off 136. I think he's a lot better than that. I think they've got a run with him this year, which they haven't in previous seasons. He's won his two starts this season. Martin Brassel, again, another trainer in good form. Super target trainer. And I think he'll have a hell of a chance in that race.
Right, I'll rattle through mine. Look, I've started 225. Look, obviously, Meeting of the Waters, as the lads will do it, has £36 well in on his chase mark. Night before, what you want to back him, you want to see how your first two ones go. But the one I actually really like in here is quite cool. She was second in the last season off £4 higher mark. They're taking £7 off her here with Joe Williamson. She's had down 3 runs. Josh Williamson. 3 runs this season so far. She's kind of running herself into form. Her 5th at Nace and her 2nd run of the season kind of working out well. Win some, lose some was just in front for her in that race. He's gone on to win the Pretemps qualifier at Christmas time. So as I said, 2nd in this, beating, what was it, a neck or something like that behind, 3/4 of a length behind Maxim in this last season. She has a fair chance of this. She's 16-20 to 1 shot. She'd be the one I would back each way in that. We are going on. The 405 Facile Mode. Interesting horse coming in here. Handicap debut. Won well on Chase debut. Jumped really well. Beat Touch Me Not. Gone on to win a grade 2 and placed in the grade 1 since. Jumping kind of felt a pot in his last 2 races. Fell in behind Touch Me Not at back of Punchestown and then was sent off 10 to 11 favour for Novice Chase. Again, jumping went a bit awry. He's in off here off 135. I think he's well capable of going really close off this kind of mark. He's a very talented horse. I respect Midnight it is. Agree with the lads. You go back and watch his run. It looks like they were looking after his mark more or less with the amount of money that went on King of PRS. One in the bumper on day 1 is Culcallan for Noel Mead. It's a very interesting horse. 14 to 1. His form is working out quite well. He's at the racing 5 times already in his career in bumpers, and I think he'll put his experience to use. You go back and watch some of his bumpers. He finished 2nd to 6.5, was now 2nd favourite for the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. He went on to beat Heads Up then at Punchestown convincingly, and he's gone on to win by 24 lengths next time up, and he was a close 2nd to Calypso Chance, who was favourite for the champion bumper, who's not actually running in this race. That form is working out really well. He's 14 to 1 shot in the place. I think he's a cracking each way bet for the bumper, which is wide open. Sunday, agree with Tom with his Gavin Cromwell horse. He pointed that out a few weeks ago to all of us, so he gets credit for that. And I agree with him as well. St. James Gate, we had a conversation about this. We think he's great at the horse in the handicap. As Tom alluded to, they're getting a clear run with him now, as I said already as well, about 3 times already tonight. The rain is coming and it will suit him down to the ground. Made a buzz at the last day, but still won really well, and I think he'll take a bit of beating in that. So that is, we finished Naps and next best. What's the best bet? Oh, there's Sean. Where's he gone? He's back. Best bet, next best, and best each way bet.
Oh, fuck. I'd say I really like Lady Vega Allen each way. She'd probably be my nap. If you're getting 5 to 1 on her, I really, really like her. The next best, I'd probably go on Pere Pass. I think he's tough. And as I touched on, the each way treble I'd be doing is Lady Vega Allen and Pere Pass and Amen K. At worst, you'll get double your money back. It'd be even money if they all place. So I definitely think that's the way to go with them.
Tom.
Look, my best bet is back to Norman and Handicap Trace on Sunday. Mad keen. I'd say my next bet. I'd say of the shorties, I'd say Majborough is a good bet. And then I would maybe play the each way double on Factor File and Impere Pass, 3 to 1, 7 to 2 each of them. I think that's a solid bet. I'd be putting that one on in the shops though, lads, not on your account.
No account left.
On the handicap horses, I did the handicaps last weekend, and I've backed all 4 of those. So, yeah,
he has. He showed us. My nap Imperial Pass. I think he'd be very hard to beat on with the ground coming right. Next best, Final Demand. I really like him. I think he's going to be a very, very good horse going forward. And each way, Cole Callan in the bumper in a race that is wide open. I think he's the wrong price altogether with the form working out. And I think he'd put his experience to use, and Derek O'Connor's on his back. I think he's a cracking each way bet at 14-1. That is us done for our Dublin Racing Festival preview. We'll all be there on Saturday and Sunday. Myself, Sean, Tom, Dave, 10 or 11 more of us. So if you see us, say hello. Don't abuse us. We're not in the humour to get abused now on Saturday and Sunday. We're there to drink and have a crack. But yeah, that's us done. Enjoy the DRF. We'll see you up there if you're there. And best of luck with the punting.